What's up, guys, and welcome to my third podcast. Today I have Kelvin Guzman, who's a professional baseball player. Last year he played in a Pecos League with the Wasco Reserves, and this year he was supposed to play with the Black Sox, but will undergo Tommy John surgery in the first week of March. So let's tune into Kelvin and his mental approach to the game.
For people who don't know you, what is your backstory? Who is Kelvin Guzman?
Well, I was born and raised in Corona, Queens, New York. I'm 24 years old. I played. I went to elementary school, public school 19. Went to junior high school, IS 61, that was the first sports team that I joined. We went undefeated for 2 years straight, my seventh and eighth grade years. So we won back-to-back champions. Then I ended up going to Newtown High School. In Newtown, I didn't make varsity until my sophomore year. I played JV baseball my freshman year. Sophomore year, I didn't play varsity. I got injured. Junior year, I was still injured. And then my senior year was when I finally broke through and played. Then I ended up going to Erie Community College out of high school. So it wasn't during the fall. I ended up going for the spring. But I didn't play due to the injuries again. They kept coming back. So it's kind of been an injury plagued like a sports thing for me with the arm.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like throughout your career, injuries have been coming up and kind of trying to continue to be successful in the game. There definitely has to be that strong mindset and mental approach to the game.
Definitely. Like, it just keeps coming back. And now is when I finally went and seeked out help. And now is when I finally know the truth of what's been going on with my arm since about the time of high school, which is pretty crazy. I graduated 2014, and it's about to be 10 years in 3 years.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what are you up to today? Where are you playing right now?
This year I was supposed to play with the Black Sox independently, but I couldn't because I'm currently going to get Tommy John surgery on Tuesday, which is kind of a letdown, you know. Last year I played in the Pecos League with the Wasco Reserves. I had a short stint with them, probably like 7 games before going down to injuries. Not a big injury, just like a small injury, and then I just couldn't play through it.
I got you. Do you know why you keep getting these injuries? Where do these injuries keep happening?
It's in the inner part of the elbow because I never really looked into like arm care after the games. I never looked into arm care before the games. I never sought out medical help. I never went to massage therapists, which is basically with the Black Sox is a big thing. Like arm care is a big thing that he forces it on you at least twice a week. You gotta go to his massage therapist, they're the best ones. You know, they're always available within a 2-3 hour drive of New York City. And when we're in Florida, they're basically 30 minutes away, or he'll bring them to you. You know, he brings them to the field once in a while. They do it to us for free. You know, we got to give them a tip or just a gratitude, you know. But arm care is a big, big thing in baseball, no matter what position. People think that it's always pitchers that only got to do arm care. Now it's every position. You know, the arm mechanics are like one of the main things. If your mechanics are bad, it's hard to reach it at 22, 23. You know, it's like trying to teach a horse how to run 10 years in. You know, it's kind of hard because they already know how to throw. They already got used to it. It's like you got to break it down and redo it. But injuries mostly happen because of how you handle yourself outside of the field, what you eat, what you do. You know, if you're weightlifting, you're trying to, like, satisfy others. When your body's completely different than this other person's, you know, you got to stick to your workout, your body. You got to know your limits. You can push a little past the limits, but pushing too much can get you, like, injured in a certain way that you might not be able to come back from, or you're going to end up, like, surgically repaired like me.
Absolutely. I'm in the same boat as you. My baseball career is over with, but in 2017 I did undergo Tommy John surgery. I completely tore my UCL. And talking to my physical therapist, he was saying, well, it's either lack of flexibility in the shoulder or lack of strength in the shoulder, which is causing a lot of torque and tension in your elbow. So flexibility and being able to have those strong scapular muscles on the back of the shoulders, and just to have strong shoulders in general and being able to be flexible as well to get in the right throwing position is such a crucial aspect of the game. And
the flexibility part is one of the biggest things. You gotta be not flexible to a point where you can like literally touch any part of his body, but you gotta be able to, like, it's more like a mobility issue. You gotta be mobile. Most baseball players think that it's just catch and throw. You know, they think it's just, I can hit a ball 400 feet, they're gonna sign me. Like, no, coaches come in and they look at every single part of how you handle yourself, how you introduce yourself, your body language. You know, that's how they determine how your parents raised you. Who are your parents? What family background do you come from? Are you a troublemaker? Have you changed? Are you a person of God? Are you not? No. Then they go into the mobility thing. How does he move? Can he move? Can he go from second back to first instantly, or does he have to like slow it down to speed it up? You know, can he go from first to third on a single to right field? You know, they're always looking for mobility. Can he do the agility drills? Is he out of breath like 20 seconds in? You know, they usually look at every. I didn't know that until this year when I joined this organization, that they really do look at everything. I thought it was just, hey, pop time, 1-8. Oh, I'm getting signed. Oh, I can hit 3 home runs. They're gonna sign me. And then it's like, why is nobody talking to me? Why are they talking to the kid that hit a bunch of singles and throws 87 across the diamond? Or why are they talking to the kid that has a 2.0 to second? Because of his character, how he talks, like his mobility is better than mine. You know, his character, how he feels, like how he handles himself. They look at everything.
Yeah, that's outstanding. I feel like the more coaches I speak with, the more in common they have with the character aspect of the player that they're trying to recruit. Talent can only take you so far, but if you don't have a character that fits the team, and you actually mentioned it, the last coach I was able to have a podcast with, he says, I really strictly look at on the player and parent relationship that they have. Do they say thank you when they get a bottle of Gatorade, or do they just expect it to happen? I think that's a true testament of their character, and that character is going to show true colors within 2 to 3 years on that 4-year program.
Yeah, 100%. They always look like, oh, is he a kid that takes stuff for granted? Is he going to go out there and, like, work his ass off? You know, like, is he the first one to the field? Is he the last one to leave? What is he doing during the reps? Is he paying attention to how the other guys take the reps? Is he paying attention to what the coaches are doing? You know, is he criticizing, or is he, like, complimenting or helping others get better? Because what I learned was that a team can only be good as their rookies. The vets are going to do what the vets do. They already have a track record. You know, they're going to come in, and if they're consistent 340, guess what? They're going to bat 340 again. The rookies, that's what determines if the team is championship caliber or just last place caliber.
Yeah, I think having that true testament of being a leader and being able to go out every single day and being process-oriented and not being kind of okay with mediocrity, because that's not going to take you far. But when you're process-oriented and you're exactly what you're saying, you're observing other players to see how maybe they're moving, and maybe that's how you're learning on how you're supposed to be moving. And I think that's awesome. I remember as a kid growing up and going to baseball games, I would go there as soon as the gates would open and see how the players would warm up, see how the players would hit BP, see how they stretch, see how the pitchers and catchers would throw before a game. And that just taught me so much by just observing the game of baseball in the professional aspect.
That's one of the big things. If people go to baseball games, like I understand there's a lot of people that just go to the games to just get away from like life problems or just to enjoy the game. But if you're like an inspiring like person that wants to play professionally, I highly suggest that you get to the games early. You just, I mean, if you can't watch the home team, watch the away team. You know, they're out there looking at the distance. You know, they're tracking the wind to see how the ball's going to fly. They're checking the infield to see how the ball moves. You know, they're constantly building relationships with somebody, with anybody, anywhere.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Talking about the Black Sox, what is training like over there?
We train literally all year round, every day, all year round. It's one of the best teams I've been on. Actually, it probably is the best team because literally he takes it to heart, making us better players, better people outside of the field too. Like he takes a lot of courage, like a lot of, what do you call it, like it takes a lot of privilege in building us to be men. Like he doesn't want us in the house doing nothing. He wants us out doing something all the time, either working at the field, and just doing a bunch of stuff like that's hands on. He's not big. He doesn't like lazy people. He likes people that take accountability. You know, like it's a big organization that he recruits players from all over the country, and he has the most players signed, and he literally shows you results. You know, he has a list of players that are signed every year. You know, and there's no excuse because there's always people that say, "I want to play pro ball. What do I got to do? What do I got to do?" Get out of your comfort zone, he says. Get out of it. Go somewhere new, and bust your ass off to do it. The coaches are not going to come to you, so you got to go to the coaches. Where do you go to the coaches? To the man that signs the most players. You know, like right now they've been in Florida since December. I think since December 13th. They've been every day playing since December 13th, and now they just drafted their 6 teams to play in front of scouts until April, and in April they start playing the independent league teams. And guys are signed every day. Guys are released every day. You know, and then in the summer they have a team in Chicago. I think they have a team in Florida, and they definitely have a team in New Jersey. You know, but he's always traveling, and if he can't reach you, he'll send you to somebody that's close enough that could give him a report of how you are. In the fall, they play in the Northeast. You know, we literally play in 3 leagues. We're playing every day. If we're not playing, we're practicing. You know, so there's always an opportunity to show him what you got.
Yeah, I feel like it just revolves around being single-minded and being very obsessed with the game. Because every second you have to be either, especially at a level where professional you're in professional right now, but getting to the major league, that's the next goal. And I think every second of the day you got to be either visualizing yourself being there, figuring out what can I do this moment to be a better ball player. How can I be, instead of watching TV cut, should I be practicing? Should I be talking about baseball? Should I be analyzing how pro hitters are hitting and their mechanics, or how pitchers are throwing the ball? What are the new technologies and what are the new techniques that are taught in Major League Baseball that I could be taking advantage of right now?
Yeah. People, they think that, you know, there's always some way to get better. You can literally get better by watching the game on TV and analyzing how a player takes that bat, what the pitcher's throwing on a certain count. What is the catcher doing on this count? Where is he looking at? There's always something going on. It's just sometimes when you play at the high school level, you know, they're not focused on too much of the mental game. They think, oh, I hit 3 home runs in the PSAL, so I'm okay. No, once you get to college, it's a whole different game because now you're playing with kids out of state. You know, now you get to the Pro Bowl, and it's like, okay, now we're playing with the best kids in every college level. Now you get to like double A. Now it's the best players in the organization. Now you're in the majors. It's the best players in the world. You know, the higher you rank up, the faster it goes, the more mindset it comes in. You know, like mindset is really 90%. And I didn't figure that out until I would say October of last year. I thought it was all like just swing and throw. Like, no, like that's why I struggled in the Pecos because I thought it was all swing and throw until the Black Sox, Joe Torre put me in contact with the White Sox hitting coach, and he broke me down. He told me like, yo, it's all mindset. You have to pick a zone. You have to do this. You have to do that. Like it's not about the swing mechanics. It is 10%, but in reality, in all in all, it's the mindset. The mindset is what separates you. The mindset is what takes you to the next level.
And how crucial is having a plate approach?
Oh, it's 100% crucial. The body language. You literally got to prepare for your at bat when you're in the dugout. Like 2 batters before, you got to be mentally prepared. Like you got to see the tendency of the pitcher because, say, your first at bat, his fastball was pumping and pumping. Your second at bat, he lost the field. Now he's going to go to a different pitch. So now 2 pitches before, he's already trying to work on something for you. The catcher's a batter ahead. That's the difference between the lower level guys and the higher level guys. The hitting approach comes in really big. You got to stick to your hitting approach. If you're not a home run hitter, like don't try to be a home run hitter. Like you'll catch one, but play to your game. You got to play to your game because that's what the team signed you for. They're gonna sign the big boppers to do the big bopper things. They're gonna sign the bunters to the bunting thing. They're gonna sign the speed guys get on base, steal some bases, put the pressure on, so that the big boppers could get that good pitch to drive the run in.
Oh man, that hit home with me. I work with young kids and they're here, uppercutting because they see Bryce Harper hitting a 400+ home run and they want to kind of emulate him and mimic his swing. But I feel like they don't know the fundamentals yet, and they're trying to have this copycat mentality pro level guys. I just think as a youth and going into maybe the first 2 years of college, it's all about player development and really perfecting the fundamentals of the game.
Yeah. I mean Bryce Harper's a different type of person. His body type, his swing. You can't like have the same swing for every pitch. But what do you mean? Like you can't have the same swing for every pitcher. Every different pitch has a different type of swing. Mm-hmm. You got to have a sinker ball swing. You got to have a knuckleball swing. You got to have a fastball swing. You got to have a slider swing. You can't just have that one swing throughout your whole career. Your swing is going to change on a daily basis. That's what the point of the tee is. The tee is put there to break down your swing for the day. Is your bat, like, how's your body feeling? A lot of people, even myself, I try to emulate what the major leaguers were doing, and I failed miserably because I realized that they were major leaguers. I'm not.
Exactly. I think the major leaguers found who they were, and we're trying to mimic who they were instead of being true to ourselves and who we are. I think I always tell players that we're a hybrid player. We're not going to have the same exact swing as someone else, but we might take something small. Maybe we see A-Rod and we like the leg kick, and then we see Derek Jeter who swings inside out. So maybe you become a hybrid of those 2 players, and maybe you start incorporating a leg kick, and maybe now you're starting to figure out the timing a lot better, so that works for you. And then instead of maybe like a Curtis Granderson who plants his front foot down so early, that might not work for someone else.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's turn to the catching philosophy. What do you do to get better on the catching side?
Well, you got to start early once you get to the field. The coaches usually go through video backgrounds on the team, from the game before. You gotta. The number one thing is building relationships with the coaches and the pitchers. You're literally out there for 9 innings with all these pitchers every day. Whether you got a roster of 14 pitchers, you gotta be best friends with the pitchers. Some days you don't even have to be best friends. Just you go take them out. Take them out to a bar. Take them out to a restaurant. It doesn't even have to be all baseball. It's just having this connection of trusting each other. Because once they trust you, that's it. They'll trust you with anything. You got to help them build their confidence. One of the main guys that I grew up watching was Yadier Molina. You know, it's like the Cardinals literally traded. I think it was one of the top catching prospects. They traded him away because the pitchers only wanted Molina. Because they trusted him so much with his track record. I think the other catching prospect is still held in the minors back because Molina's there. You know, like they don't want to let him go because he's just a leader, how he handles himself. The main thing for me, I would say, as a catcher is receiving. You know, you're receiving most of the time. You know, when that 1-1 comes, if you could turn that ball into a strike, it takes a whole lot back. Because 1 and 2 is better than 2 and 1. You know, 2 and 1, you got to come back with a fastball.
It changes the whole mindset for the pitcher. It really does.
Yeah, 1 and 2, you can mess around with a pitch. Like, you don't have to throw it in the strike zone. You can really mess around, and now it's like, okay, the batter is like, he may know what's coming, he may not. No, but receiving is the main thing for me. Back then, I thought it was all pop time. Like in pro ball, I'm pretty sure they don't care what your time is. You know, it's mostly about accuracy. Can you be accurate? You know, they'll take a guy that's 2-1, 2-0, 198 on the bag or knee by the knee, and he could be 198, 2-0 and have the greatest relationship with pitchers. And guess what? He's gonna play over the guy that's throwing 1-8. You know.
Yeah.
He's gonna play because he has that relationship with them. He's built that trust. He has that confidence. He knows what he's doing, which basically comes back to having feel for the game. You know where you got to be. You know where you got to position yourself. You know, hitting is a big part too. But I'm pretty sure most coaches would say that they would prefer a guy that is a leader and knows what he's doing, and they can work on the hitting.
Yeah, definitely. I think framing is one of the biggest aspects of being a catcher. I mean, you got to steal those balls and turn them into strikes, help the pitcher out, and that's what's going to help win ball games. I think Yadi does it, is one of the best in the game to do it, and I think that's why he's been so successful. And exactly what you're saying, the pitcher and catcher relationship. I think the pitchers trust him in a good manner, where whatever pitches he calls, the pitcher doesn't second guess the Yadi's decision. He's able just to throw for a strike and still feels confident in it. I mean, I deal with players that are not confident in pitchers, and they're constantly just shaking off, and now their whole vibe, you just see it on their face and their expression, just their whole vibe changes. And yes, they might want a fastball outside because now they shook off 3 times to get there. Now it's a whole different game, and now they're missing their spots.
Yeah. You know, most of the things that I learned was sometimes pitchers want to know, like, how a catcher, like, you can tell how a catcher handles himself. You know, it's based on pitchers prefer the guy that, you know, is the most confident, the one that can block that wild pitch, the one that knows what he's doing. So, yeah, like I said, it all comes back to the receiving part. How you receive it, you know. Like one of the best receivers that I heard, I just found out the other day, was Eddie Perez from the Braves. Every time Greg Maddux threw, he didn't want Javi Lopez. He only wanted Eddie Perez. Why? Because he knew how to receive the ball. So every 5 days, he was guaranteed to start with Greg Maddux because he made all those balls into strikes, and look how dominant he was just with that.
Exactly. That's a huge part of the game, man. So what core values do you present yourself with every day?
What's that, like?
So, like, one core value that I present is growth. I want to be able to be better than I was the day before.
Oh, you got to go out and be 1% better every day. When you love what you do, you're gonna be consistent at it. You know, consistency is a big thing for me. If I can go out and make 6 out of 7 throws on the bag, I'm getting better every day. So now tomorrow I got to come out and make 7 out of 8 throws. You know, then the next day 8 out of 9 throws. You know, if you take BP and you take 18 swings, I want at least 16 of those swings to be hit singles. You know, to be hit. You know, you got my big thing is consistency. I want to because I haven't been a consistent player my whole career. So my big thing is just being consistent at everything in the game: throwing, receiving, blocking, building relationships like every day.
Yeah. While you were making your way up to the pro level, what have coaches said to you growing up that made you push harder? Whether it's something positive or something negative.
I think it was just mostly seeing other players get what I wanted. Getting that contract offer, getting that look, getting that opportunity that I wanted.
And being able to get this opportunity, how do you evaluate yourself on a daily basis?
Yeah, 100% every day. The first thing I do is look at Instagram for baseball stuff. That's one of the main things. Just seeing others get what I worked for, and realizing later on in life that because I didn't get it was because I wasn't mentally ready for it.
And how important is the preparation aspect of the game?
It's the biggest part.
So I feel like a lot of players, they just show up to the game, get warmed up real quick, they perform, and then that's it. And I think the pros, they get to the ballpark hours and hours before the first pitch, and they're preparing, one, their mindset, which is such a key aspect, which we kind of talked about, and then two, getting their body in the proper setup to be able to perform in its optimal level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, getting your mental state ready for the game is the biggest thing. The professional guys, they usually get to the field around 1 or 2, and they're getting ready for a 7 o'clock game. They're locked and loaded during BP. That's the biggest thing. The preparation for every game, you got to go in with an intent to dominate. You can't just go in an intent to just do good. You got to dominate every single play, even if the play isn't with you. You got to go in and really dominate every single aspect. And it all starts with the preparation hours before the game. I remember I had a game in the fall, a playoff game, where I arrived late to the game, and I just showed up, started throwing, and I did horrible for the first 3 innings catching. I almost got subbed out because of it. But that all comes back to not being prepared for the game. I thought I was just going to be a show and go player. You can't just be a show and go unless you've done it thousands of times. You literally got to show up. If you're just a high schooler, you got to show up, say, 2 periods before. You got to be mentally prepared. If you're an independent league guy, you show up an hour or 2 hours before the game. You got to be mentally prepared. Because the guys above you are hours before the game getting their preparation ready, getting their bodies mobile, getting their arms mobile, getting their mindset mobile by watching the videos, watching how the pitcher's tendencies from his last start, watching your pitcher's tendencies from his last start, from the bullpen the day before. There's always something that you can work on to get better, but that all comes with the preparation. How determined are you to get better? How determined are you to do better?
Exactly. And I think throughout that whole process, there are so many lessons that you've learned that kind of translate off the field. What kind of, do you want to talk more about what you've learned on the field, what lessons or any moments that was a changing point to make you a better human off the field?
It was mostly building the relationship with people. I'm not really a talkative person, I'm usually one of the laid-back catchers, but being with this team, it made me realize that I got to be more outspoken. I got to get on people's asses if they're not doing their job, because if they're looking bad, that makes me look bad. And if I'm looking bad, guess who's not getting signed? Me. Exactly. But if I get on his ass and I tell him yo, you gotta do better, because if not, we're both gonna look bad. Because
Because if a pitcher's doing great, guess who they're going to look at? Like, oh, he's doing great, and look who's catching him. This guy, you know? So the big thing that it taught me outside of the field was basically appreciation, building relationship, building trust, you know, just being outspoken. But you got to show appreciation to everybody, even if they're not doing something. Like every morning you should have affirmations of what you want to do to get better outside of the field. It doesn't even have to be with baseball, it's just with life. You know, you gotta set goals or daily goals that you can accomplish. It doesn't even have to be a big goal. It could be as big as just getting up and, you know, going for a jog or writing a message to somebody.
Yeah, that's spot on. And if a youth player comes up to you and has the same aspirations as you to play professionals, what advice would you give him?
That's hard. Take every rep serious. You know, surround yourself with people that have been there. That's the big thing. Because what I learned was you can't be a pro practicing with guys that have never played pro. You know, you got to surround, like if you want to be a millionaire, you got to hang around billionaires. If the millionaires want to be billionaires, and they're going to hang around billionaires. So you got to be around guys that have been there. You know, there's guys everywhere that say they have it, but let's see how many have it. Even if it's independent, you know, they played independent, that's professional. You know, they played in the majors, that's professional. They played in the minors, they've been there. So it's like if they're aspiring to be a pro, I would say hang around where the pros are. Surround yourself with them. Listen to how they speak, how they handle themselves, what they do day in, day out, and just copy them. But not to the point where you're doing literally everything they're doing. Take little aspects of all their games and put it together so they can make you the better player.
Yeah, and I definitely know that you've surrounded yourself with professional players and trying to get to that next level. And I've been following you on social media for quite a bit now. And I've seen that you've talked to big league teams. Do you want to share anything that's interesting? Talk more about this? Who you met and how the conversations went?
Yeah, back in 2015, I was getting scouted by the New York Mets out of college in Erie and in Schenectady. But my seasons, they went so bad that they just lost interest, I'm guessing. Yeah, they lost interest, basically. But the conversations with them were more of the mental state. You know, the physical tools have always been there. They can be built at any time. But the mindset, you really have to put work by yourself to get that done. You know, I was also getting scouted by the New York Yankees. And they're big on the mindset, you know, very big. Like they're more bigger on character and how you handle yourself than your skill set. You know, because remember, they're drafting kids that are 16, and these 16-year-olds, they're expected to be adults the minute July 2nd comes upon them. You know, they're throwing hundreds of thousands of dollars at them and expecting them to be adults. So it's like that big mindset thing comes into it. You know, it was the same thing with the Rockies. He flew out to New York and the Nationals too, and they all told me the same thing. It was all mindset. My mindset just wasn't there to handle that professional lifestyle. And now at 24, it's finally starting to click.
Yeah, I see that all the time. Just kids that have all this talent, the mindset's not there, and it really kind of diminishes their opportunities to play at the next level. And I think, you know, I'm 23, you're 24, as we get older, we should be helping out the younger generation to really start focusing on that mindset. So when they do get to that opportunity to play in front of a scout, they're not immature, and they both now have the qualities of a strong mindset and a strong physical aspect of the game, where now, you know, there's no limit of how far they could go now.
Yeah. If you build the mindset from when you're young, and say if you start building it around 11, 12, by the time he's 16, this guy's age is in front of his whole competition. You know, he can strike out 4 times, and guess what? He's still going to think he's the best player because he's going to come back out the next game and get 2 singles. You don't even have to get a hit to do good. You can literally just get on base. You know, you can literally just move the guy over. You can make hard contact, and you'll still do good. You know, like baseball, you fail 7 times, you're still one of the best hitters. Batting .300, you're one of the best players. You know, they like the mindset. Literally, you got to fail in order to succeed.
Yeah, I think the youth are so caught up on trying to hit doubles and homers, and they're less focused on getting a single, but they don't realize, hey, you get on base, you walk or hit a single, no matter how that single happened, whether it's just a blooper over the shortstop's head or a solid line drive up the middle, the next pitch you can steal when you're on second in scoring position.
Yeah. Those little hits come in so clutch that most of us, you know, because of this launch angle thing, it reinvented the game that now if you're not hitting home runs, you're no use to the team. You know, whatever happened to the guy that can bunt? Whatever happened to the guy that can do the squeeze play? Whatever happened to the guy that can get on base and steal 2 bases? You know, like, those days are over because of the launch angle thing. You know, so now it's like, if you have speed but you can't hit home runs, or like, what use are you? That's what I think.
Yeah, I read something funny, and it's our generation now has a hit track swing. Where
yeah.
It's crazy how, you know, all these new technologies are kind of affecting the way we swing, and, you know, now we're able to see how our swing is projected and how far it's projected and how hard we're hitting it just by hitting the ball and then switching our focus to a screen that's right next to us. But that doesn't tell at all.
Yeah, well, I've heard of that hit track. I never used it, but I feel like it's accurate, you know, but to a certain extent, like, I would definitely use it just to see, like, to mess around with it, but to a certain extent, I'd rather the human aspect of the game, you know, because hit track can only tell you, like, how you're hitting with soft toss or with a pitcher throwing, like, you know, 40 miles per hour in DP. But how does that same hit translate to a guy throwing 97? You know, how does hit track work against Aroldis Chapman? This guy's throwing 105 miles per hour. Can the hit track tell you how fast you hit it off of that? Like, the major leaguers can definitely do it, but can't we? The guys that aren't in the majors?
Precisely. And I'm not against hit track. Don't get me wrong. I think it's talking about evaluating yourself. I think it's great to maybe pull it out every week or so just to compare where you were a week ago if you're trying to work on.
Yeah. Weekly it's great. You know, you see weekly improvement. Or you hit 82 miles per hour on the exit velo. So this week you're going to hit 85. That's a weekly goal. You know, every week you get better. That's how you can track it. You can write it down and track it. So it's not bringing the hit track down. The world is based on technology now. So now we just got to find ways to improve. That's a way to improve. You know, it logs it down. Oh, the catcher had a 198 pop time with a 78 mile per hour throw. You know, next week, with all the mental building he's doing and all the physical mobility stuff that he's doing, he can bring that up to a mile per hour. So now he's at 79. So he just got better. And that keeps a track record of it.
Exactly, and just exactly what you talked about being 1% better each day. And I think that's the goal, and just being very process-oriented. So I'm down to my last... Yeah, continue.
No, that was it.
Oh, okay. So I am down to my last question, and this question is, what is your purpose in life?
Oof. What is my purpose in life? I don't know. Mostly it would be inspiring others. You know, if people really, like, one day they'll know where I was, like, 7 years ago, and they'll be like, whoa, there's no way that was you. But yeah, it was. And now look at me. So, you know, it's like there's always time for change if it comes from within. If you surround yourself with the right people, you know, people that are constantly on you, wanting to see you do better, you know, you're going to do better. If you surround yourself with people that are not doing better, that are not going out doing stuff, you got to encourage them to do it. Show them that it's possible that you can do it. So it's mostly just inspiring others to do better. I always see little kids like in the Pecos come up to me, tell me I'm their favorite catcher, and it was like they never seen me before. So I was like, oh, I don't know how. But then I realized that they have me on Instagram. Their dads or moms have me on Instagram, and they're always watching me. And it's like, whoa, I didn't know that I could affect a kid in California. I didn't know that I could affect a kid from Arizona. I've had teenagers come up to me and tell me the same thing. It's like, dude, you're better than me. Like, how am I inspiring you when you're like faster, you're younger, you're stronger, and it's just who you are. Your name is basically your image. It goes a long way when inspiring kids. Like if a major leaguer was to mess up, and then it's like it just ruins the kid. Most people don't look at that. Like you're literally showing like these people look up to you, for their kids, for themselves, because you offer hope to them.
Yeah, I think once you start playing in that college level, whether you want it or not, you're starting to become a role model to the younger generation. Because now they're looking up to you and they want to be where you are.
Yeah.
And
that's definitely.
And for those of you who are listening and wants to follow Kelvin, his Instagram is _KellyGZ_.
Yeah.
Before I let you go, is there any last piece of advice that you want to share?
What would that be? Anything's possible as long as your mindset is determined to do it. Your body can tell you no, but if your mind tells you yes, guess what? Your mind is going to do it. You just got to be consistent with every day. You may not see results right away, but if you're consistent at it, you'll notice the results in different ways. Sometimes you might even learn a new trick or two.
Yeah, I think the name of the game is consistency and patience. If you're consistent and patient, the results are going to come.
Yep, that's 100%. I still haven't learned patience yet at 24.
Tough to learn, man. We all want those results, but it's going to come.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to learn patience.
Thank you for tuning in. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe to my new channel. I'll be posting more interviews with college coaches, professional players, and also drills. So make sure to click on that subscription button and get notified.